So yeah, that makes it official. Lease 2. So it's like I'm a real owner-operator now. So that's what I've been doing all week. It took me pretty much the entire week to get everything situated and sorted out. I'm in St. Louis now. Basically, I didn't make any. I should have probably made a video, but I just figured I'd wait until the week is over and everything's said and done, and then I make a video instead of saying, okay, you know, this is me, you know, walking to the office. You know, I mean, it's like I'm leasing the truck I already have, so it's not like, you know, I'm gonna make a video like, hey, this is the truck that I'm leasing. You know, it's the truck. I leased the truck I already had. So I don't know. Anyways, so basically, you know, last week, you know, I was down at the Gary terminal, and during the week, on the weekend, I delivered a load in Chicago early Saturday morning, and then when I made it back to the Gary terminal, I called dispatch and I said, look, I'm trying to get up to Marshfield so I can talk to Jeff and get this whole lease thing situated. Because I was wondering if you're gonna put me on a load, don't send me somewhere far like south. Don't send me out to Kentucky or Ohio or some shit, because I need to go get up to Wisconsin. So they said, well, we'll just hold off and we'll just keep you on the yard till Monday morning, and then when your dispatcher comes in, you can work it out, and she can route you up to Wisconsin and all that stuff. So that's what I did. Hung out in the yard for the weekend, and then picked up a load going up to Wisconsin, and then from there, you know, went up to Marshfield. So I think I was in Marshfield Tuesday afternoon, and when I got there, you know, I put my truck in the shop, and then I went to talk to Jeff and start going over everything and filling out paperwork and shit like that, signing stuff. So they put my truck into the shop, and so when you lease a truck, like especially if you're leasing a truck, like if you're giving in your company truck and you're gonna be getting another truck to lease, it will probably be ready to go. They do a DOT inspection. Like, you know, my truck, it was due for a PM anyway, so they just do the full PM. You know, I needed a new fire extinguisher, so they put a new fire extinguisher in there. I told them the alignment was off. They did an alignment on it, took care of everything else, rotated the tires, and all the shit they do on a PM, the inspection, the filters, and all that shit. Then they go in and they have other stuff that they do. They reprogram your computer for your new truck number, and they get you set up as a, you know, they change some shit in the computer. They plug into the truck, and they make it so that they raise the speed limiter. Now, if you're gonna go into Canada, I didn't know this, your truck has to be governed at 65. I guess that's Canadian law or something. But if you're not gonna go into Canada, they'll set it at 75. And I said, well, I asked Jeff, I said, you think I'm gonna be going into Canada a lot? I've only been once. He said, with you living in Texas, it's probably very, very rare, if that you'll ever have to go to Canada. So I said, you know what? Just set it at 75, and I'll just not go into Canada. You know, fuck it. Besides, I mean, I think if you do end up going into Canada, as a lease operator, there's like more shit you got to deal with. You know, there's some like more paperwork or some shit. I was like, fuck it. You know, I've been once, that's good enough. If I ever want to go back, I'll go on a vacation or something like that. But so okay, so anyways, because I got to Marshfield late on Tuesday, I wasn't able to take care of everything with Jeff that I needed to. So got the truck out of the shop, slept in it. Then in the morning, we finished everything off, signed all the contracts, and finalized everything. Got the insurance working, got my EIN number and all this shit, and got everything set up. And so I was ready to go Wednesday. Got my truck out of the shop and everything. Talked to my new fleet manager and went over some things with him. Told him I need to get back to Texas to pick up my new debit cards, and I ordered some new. I ordered some new shoes because the shoes I have, I had a pair of shoes and the soles were coming off of them, so I threw them away. And I had a backup pair, but they were kind of already old, and so they had a hole in them, so they were getting wet when I walked in the rain, and it's just, I had to get some new shoes. And I actually a couple weeks ago I hitched a ride. I got an Uber to go to a shopping mall when I was in Denton, Texas. But the mall in Denton, Texas is not much of a mall, so their shoe selection there wasn't that great. And like the shoe stores they did have, like, they don't sell the shoes I like anymore. And I guess, or I like to wear DC skate shoes. They're comfortable and they usually last a pretty long time and stuff like that. I just they fit my feet well. But no, it's like no fucking stores sell them anymore. They all sell these skinny people shoes. These really thin, fucking flat, skinny shoes and shit. And I'm not, I got big flat feet. So this shit don't work out. So I had to order some new shoes off of the shoes I like off of fucking Amazon. So I got to get back to the house, to get my shoes and stuff like that. So I told my new fleet manager that. He says, okay, we'll work about, I said, I just need to get back to Texas for one day. Just one day to take care of a couple things, and then I can go right back out on the road. So that's the load I'm on right now. Picked it up in Wisconsin. It's going all the way down to Corpus Christi. And then from there, I don't know if I'm going to be deadheading straight to Houston or maybe picking up another load. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I got to find out when I get down there. Because Corpus is only about 4 hours from Houston. But, the problem is so if I went percentage and not flat rate mileage, because you can make better money. I mean, like, in flatbed, you can. You can in like van and other places like that. But as far as I think Jeff told me that van and like the van division, they don't have percentage. It's not offered to them, and curtain side and reefer. But then I had a driver tell me the other day that they are percentages available to them as well. I don't fucking know. I just know that on flatbed you have an option, and that's percentage or flat rate per mile. So if you go percentage, it's 70% of the line haul revenue. If you go flat rate mileage, I think it's $1.09 or $1.10, right? Problem with that is, if you do that, there's a ceiling to how much money you can make. You can only run so many hours, so many miles in a week with hours of service. The maximum amount of miles you can pull off, about 3,600. Maybe a little, like in flatbed, 3,600 is pretty good, because we spent a lot of time outside the truck, not driving. Maybe if you're van, you could pull that off. You could pull it off easier and reefer and shit like that. But flatbed, 3,600 miles is a damn good week. And the stars have to align for you to get that. You have to the good loads on good going on good lanes and shit like that. It just things got to work out really well for you to get 3,600 fucking miles. A lot of fucking miles. But you get 3,600 miles, $1.10, that's it's like $3,900 or something like that. Just off the top of my head, I think it's about $3,900, $1.10. And that's it with a great week. Average week's about 2,500 miles. It's an average week. Me, I typically do, as a company driver, I typically do about 2,900 miles a week. But still, 2,500 miles in an average week, you're looking at $2,800. And then that's your gross, and then that's before taxes and bills and shit like that. So after all said and done, you may only be getting $1,500 out of it. a percentage makes 70% of line haul revenue. So to put it in perspective, the load I'm on right now is this is a 1,600 mile load, a little over 1,600 miles. It's gonna pay me $2,800. And that's on this on a 1,600 mile load. That I'm gonna run over the weekend, and I'll be delivered by Monday. Then I'll be up $2,800. That's gross before everything. So far it seems like percentage is the way to go. Now, coming out of Texas, I'm probably, whatever load I get's probably not going to pay that well, because this is a load going into Texas, and that's one thing I'm going to be learning is, what lanes are the best and shit like that. Of course, I don't have a load percentage. Flatbed, you don't have a load board. You work with the fleet managers. You tell them what you like and what you don't like, and they do their best. The planners and the fleet managers together, they do their best to accommodate you and shit like that. So I'm gonna see how it goes, But so I'm on my way down to Texas right now. I talked to my fleet manager when I was in Marshfield. I also talked to a lady with safety, which is funny. I can't remember her name for the life of me. I'm not good with names, but I had a question about hours of service, my e-logs. I was like, I tried to ask Jeff. I was like, can I use personal conveyance now? Can I use off-duty driving now that I'm leasing a goddamn truck? Do I have that option? Because legally you could do that. A lot of companies don't allow company drivers to use personal conveyance, but it's well within the law. As long as you follow the specific guidelines of personal conveyance, which is where, you can use the truck for personal. You can run errands, go to the grocery store, go to the mall, or you can go out to eat, go to a restaurant or something. You could drop your trailer somewhere and then bobtail somewhere you want to go and use the truck. As long as you're not advancing the load. If you're not doing it to where you're getting closer to a shipper receiver, you're basically, not under a load or whatever, You're using it for personal conveyance. They said, yeah, I don't know, you have to ask someone with safety. And so he went and grabbed a lady with safety, and she explained it to me and said, yeah, you can, and here's the rules about it and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. But it's funny because she came in the room and she said, I know you, young Texas trucker. And I said, yeah, you know who I am then, huh? Because I don't think I hadn't told her my name, but she just knew who I was from my face. So, and I told her, I said, I don't want people out there in like the YouTube world to know who I really am. I just avoid using my real name, just because I don't need all that bullshit. Like other YouTube motherfuckers on YouTube that put their real name out there. You get people end up like, you say something they don't like, then they're on the phone calling your company saying like, this guy is fucking blah 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 and you need to fire him. You get in trouble. You cause problems for yourself. But I knew that if someone from the company wanted to figure out who I really am, wouldn't be that hard. All they'd have to do is do a little bit of homework. They could figure out who I am. So I don't know. That lady at least knows who I am. She's watched one of the ladies in safety has seen some of my videos and shit like that. That's one of the reasons I don't make videos while I'm driving. It's very frowned upon by safety departments of trucking companies. Made my lip bleed somehow. But anyways, so I finished with all that, and then I was just waiting on my dispatch, waiting on my load, which, I sat around all Wednesday, and then, my pickup truck is still up on the Marshfield yard, so I ran some errands, and, they got a pet wash in Marshfield that I take advantage of, so I run the dog down there, and I give her a good scrub down so she's all nice and clean, and stuff like that. But, I was sitting around all Wednesday, just, trying to find shit to do, but I was roaming. I have T-Mobile, but I was roaming on the AT&T network when I was up there, and I have completely unlimited fucking 4G in T-Mobile's network, but when I'm roaming, there's a limit to it. So I exhausted the fucking limit pretty quick, just sitting around being bored. And so I didn't have fucking 4G on my phone anymore. And they do have Wi-Fi on the yard, but for some reason, like, it just stopped working out of nowhere. I couldn't, no matter what I did, I couldn't get Wi-Fi to work anymore. So I basically had like no internet access from my truck, which just, I was really fucking bored. And I tried to stay busy. I played a lot of Xbox. What the fuck was that? It made my fucking lip bleed somehow. Anyways, I bought some new games for Xbox, and so I was just playing some different games. Fuck, I was bored. And finally Thursday, I get a load that comes down, and I'm all excited. I'm like, fuck yeah, and I get back on the road and have something to do. And then I finally look at all the load info, and it's like it doesn't pick up till the next day. I'm like, god damn it. So I'm not gonna hang out all day today again. So I fucking hung out on the yard for the day, and I was finally, I left out Thursday night, and just so I could go sleep at the shipper. And because I had a reset while I was on the yard, so now that I had a reset in the middle of the week, and I'm going to be running all weekend, now because I'm going to have to run on recap at the end of the week until I can take my next reset next Sunday, so now I got to be strategic about my hours and try not to burn too many hours. I'm only going to burn a certain amount of hours a day so that I'm not chewing up, so I can bank some of those hours, because so I have my reset Thursday, so I think this coming Wednesday or Thursday, I think Thursday I'll be running short on hours, and I'll recap a couple, like 3 hours, and then I think Friday I'll recap some hours. I won't gain hours back. I don't know. I think I won't start gaining hours back till Thursday, Friday, something like that. So I gotta bank my hours. But I'm finally back out on the road. The shitty thing is, I end up in Corpus on Monday. I'm hoping then they'll say, okay, yeah, you can go ahead and dead up to Houston and take care of what you need to, and then Tuesday morning we'll dispatch you out again, because when you're on percentage, when you choose percentage over mileage, there's a caveat. Yes, you can make better money on percentage than mileage, like I just explained a minute ago, but you don't get to enjoy as many benefits. For instance, there's certain things that the company will pay you for and take care of for you when you're on mileage pay. Like, for instance, when you're on mileage pay, you can still get TARP pays, and I think you still get stop pays, and also you get to use, I think they pay your tolls for you too. Either that, or they at least let you use their transponder in their pre-pass. So there is some benefits to doing it. But when you're on percentage, you don't get none of that shit. You don't get TARP pays, you don't get stop pays, you don't get to use the Easy Pass, pre-pass transponder. You got to get your own. So yes, there's more money to be had, but there's also, you lose some benefits of being on mileage that you get to take advantage of. Now you would think, well, it all balances out, you should have just done mileage and shit. Well, there's going to be times where I don't even pay any tolls, when I won't even use the fucking Easy Pass, and TARP pay is not that fucking much money. It's $50, $100. If now on percentage, if the shipper pays TARP pay, I get that money, 100% of it. Just like I get 100% of the fuel surcharge, which on this load's like $350. And that's going to cover 2/3 of the fuel for this load, maybe 3/4. But if the shipper doesn't pay attention, I don't get it. If the shipper doesn't pay TARP pays or stop pays, I don't get it. That's on percentage. So there's pros and cons to it, but you know, I said fuck it, you know, I'm gonna go for broke and see if I can make better money on this percentage thing, you know, because I don't have a cap. So as the freight rates stay up and I'm able to get good loads and good lanes with good rates, you know, I could be making some serious money, hopefully. So we'll see how it goes. But what I was trying to say was I called this company to order my own pre-pass transponder, and you know, I had to put in a deposit of $400, but that's okay because I'm gonna put it on I'm putting the tolls on the whole thing's going on a credit card, so that when I run up tolls, I don't have to worry about having it attached to a bank account and that bank account running dry on fucking tolls. So it'll just be on a credit card, so I don't have to worry about it, you know, running out of money or whatever. But that fucking transponder is gonna come in the fucking mail. They're gonna ship it to me, and it's probably not gonna be to my house or, you know, my mailbox in Houston till Tuesday or Wednesday. So if I get back to Houston on Monday and leave back on Tuesday, I may miss the goddamn transponder. You know, and that sucks because I don't know when I'm gonna be going back to Houston again. You know, and I don't want to. They don't, you know, they don't want me running down in Texas anyway. You know, because, you know, it's harder for them to find me good paying freight in the Texas area because, you know, freight is cheaper down in Texas. You know. But, you know, if that's the case, might just have to wait 1 or 2 weeks to say, look, you guys are gonna have to get me back through the house for like a day, or I'll just tell them like, you'll have to get me something that that takes me through Houston or takes me near Houston, so I could just run through the house and grab this fucking transponder and I'll just keep on going, you know. Because it's not just it makes it a shitload. You know, I'm driving through Chicago and Gary. I'll be on the Ohio Turnpike, the Indiana Turnpike, and, you know, 294. I'm paying all these fucking tolls all the time. I need to have that fucking transponder. You know, either that or I'm going to have to be carrying $150 of fucking cash on me all the time. Be paying all these fucking tolls. Not to mention, you get a big-ass discount using the Easy Pass fucking transponder anyway. You know, but that's where I'm at right now. You know, on my first load. There's something else I was going to say. Oh, yeah. I didn't have to pay a down payment. I think I mentioned this before because I took that little online class and stuff like that. Now, I did have to pay a small down payment, and that's a down payment for the insurance policy. But it's like $190, you know, so I paid that. And that's, you know, tax deductible like everything else. So I'm going to deduct that from my taxes. And, you know, it's still, I mean, $190, but it's a lot smaller than like the $2,000 I probably would have had to pay. You know, $190, fuck it. So, but, you know, that's where I'm at right now. You know, got my bank account set up, got my fucking escrows all set up. Truck's clean and ready to go. I cleaned the shit out of the inside of the cab. I did like a real deep clean. I even scrubbed the floors. So the floors were super clean until this morning. And now they're all fucking muddy again, you know. There's flatbed fucking mud lots. You know, and I washed the truck while I was in Marshfield, so, you know, it's all clean and everything's going good. So that's where I'm at right now. That's what I've been doing. I've been getting this lease thing all situated. You know, finally, about time. You know, and I'm happy about it. You know, I'm happy with the truck. I'm happy with the deal. You know, I'm happy with everything that's going on. You know, so if the money's good, then I'll be happy with the money. You know, start paying off some debts big time. I've already got goals in mind of how much a week, how much a month I want to put towards what debts, to get these credit lines and shit paid off as fast as possible. You know, and just get it all paid off, get debt free. Then I'm gonna just start taking as much money as I can and just dumping it in my savings account. Every dime that I don't need for something else is going to go straight to my savings account. And I'm just going to build my savings as big as I can possibly build it, you know, before I go home and start having to pay bills again, you know. Hoping I can pay off all my debts, save up a bunch of money, and then maybe go out and buy a new car. Not like a new car, but buy another car. Buy something nice, you know, something nicer. I don't know. You know, buy something cash that I could drive to work, you know, and then if I buy a new truck, maybe give my old truck to my dad, or I'll just buy a new car, something that I could drive to work and just leave the truck and the Mustang at home or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. That's all off in the distant future, but you know, that's how it's going. So before I end the video, the other thing I could think of to discuss is so now my truck can go 75. Never had a truck that could go that fast. I haven't gone that fast in it yet. I don't know. I probably won't ever. Probably won't ever drive over 75. Because after that, like these guys that are doing 75 miles an hour, I mean, you burn a fuckload of fuel going that fast. You know, I probably, you know, I did 65 all day. You know, I kicked it on up a couple miles an hour, maybe up to 70 if I needed to pass somebody. And after I passed them, I let it fall back down to 65. I'm happy with that. Made good time. You know, I don't know. It's cool. You know, I just drive it on cruise control, 65 miles an hour. You know, I'm making good time, but I'm not burning too much more fuel. You know, trying to keep a good balance there. I don't want to be killing my fuel average. But, you know, if I come up on a truck, you know, it's doing 63, 64, you know, I just hit the gas a little bit, speed up, get around them, and let it fall back down. It's nice, you know. But other than that, you know, I don't find myself driving a whole lot differently. I have noticed myself driving a little differently, though. You know, I've I've kind of instinctually, I'm kind of finding myself going a little bit easier on things. You know, not just to save fuel, but also just because, you know, I want to make sure I'm taking good care of it. And I've always taken pretty good care of the truck. But I just, I don't know, I'm starting to baby it just a little bit more than I have been, you know, just because, you know, I'm responsible for it now. It's basically mine financially. So, other than that, that's all I've got. I'll make another video maybe this weekend. You know, I'm going to be taking it easy this weekend. I'm not going to be driving the whole clock out every day. You know, I'm trying to, average my time, so I don't want to burn all the hours off because I'm trying to bank some hours for later in the week. So, you know, maybe tomorrow or something I'll make another video about something, you know, talking about buying fuel or something like that. So we'll see, but I'll talk to you guys later.